Hey everyone, it's Austin here. We ended up using the wrong microphone for this podcast, so the audio came out pretty wonky, but I did my best to edit it to where it sounds normal. We were really excited for this podcast, so I hope you can still enjoy, and we'll be back to our regular quality on the next episode. Thanks for listening.
Cries in, I have no money because I owe like $15,000. What the hell? Did you see that?
No, I saw the tail end of it.
She leaped into the air and spasmed. Oh my god, she's crazy.
Apparently, when you take her collar off, she just becomes insane cat.
Apparently, no, it's just whenever we record anything, she has to go insane. This happened during the What the hell? Oh, having a cat is wonderful. Hey everyone, welcome to the Sandals podcast. Happy Halloween! We are recording this exactly a week before Halloween.
Yeah, but we're sadly not recording at the perfect hour.
What is the perfect hour?
The midnight hour.
The midnight hour? Well, okay, of those...
That's the witching hour, isn't it?
Is it? I thought the witching hour was like 2 a.m. Which is a very strange time to be like...
Yeah, I'm pretty sure
it's like,
midnight.
Oh man, it's 2 a.m. The witches are out.
Well, no, because I'm pretty sure it's midnight, because that's when night is at its blackest.
Maybe you're just thinking of R.L. Stein's The Midnight Hour. Which, you know what, I think there was possibly a movie adaptation of that. That could be something we watch on Halloween. But we've already got some amazing plans for Halloween. Unfortunately, not dressing up as Demon Slayer characters, which was the original plan. But we settled on Naruto. We're going to be Kakashi and... What are you, Itachi, or are you a random Akatsuki member?
No, I have to be Itachi because there is no Akatsuki member with a scratched leaf headband who isn't Itachi. Unless you count Sasuke.
Well, he doesn't have his headband. He lost his headband before he temporarily joined the Akatsuki.
No, he doesn't. No, he doesn't. He does have an Akatsuki cloak.
Yeah, because his team temporarily joined it. But that's besides the point.
Do you think after?
I think you can.
After Shippuden ends, Naruto? Honestly, if there's not a scene at the end of Shippuden where Naruto gives the headband back to Sasuke, I am going to riot and write Kishimoto a letter in anger.
I think my reasoning was that you can't not be Itachi, because every other member of the Akatsuki would require a lot more props to dress up as them. Whereas Itachi, you just kind of have
Considering if I wanted to be Kisame, I'd have to slit my throat. 3 times.
Well, and
on
to be
each side.
Itachi, you just have to look tired and have parted bangs. But I think to be
Don't I look like that anyways?
No, you usually slick your hair back a bit.
Yeah, but I won't.
Nobody has any idea what you did. For the audio listeners, which is everybody, Zach just flipped all his hair to the front. It looks terrible.
Yeah, I know. It's because I could feel it trying to curl up.
Well, actually, when I look at it from the side, it kind of has like an 80s Grease vibe.
Is it because of the mullet?
A little bit, actually.
Yeah.
But you know what? I got a mullet too. It's not much of one. It just curls up. If like my hair wasn't curling in the back.
Yours looks more of a mullet than mine.
Actually, wait. Why is it so straight? It's usually curled up like all the way in the back. But right now it's kind of straight.
No, it isn't.
What? But it feels straight. Is that just because I'm pushing it down?
Yes.
Okay.
If I took a picture and showed you, you'd be like, "Oh yeah, no, that's curly as fuck."
But yeah, if it didn't curl, I would have a long ass mullet. Honestly, like let me pull it down. That's like a 2-3 inch mullet. But yeah, today I just wanted to talk about Halloween in general, like the Halloween season, all the good spooky shit, and I wanted to reminisce on our Halloween stories. What's your favorite Halloween, Zach? Thank you for the ambience, cat. You don't have a favorite Halloween? Do you not have any like good Halloween memories? Because I know you weren't like super close with your family, and...
No, I don't, especially on Halloween, I just never really, it was mostly just, we go to houses.
Where did you go? Because you live out in the middle of nowhere. You used to. So where would you go?
Well, we used to live on Locust here.
Okay, so that's like mid downtown, right?
That way.
Okay, audio listeners, Zach just pointed in a random direction.
I don't know my cardinal directions.
It's like South.
I thought you were about to point to the sky and say, that's north.
No, I know where you're talking about though. That's like right before you get downtown.
It's I'm pretty sure it's on the same street where the elementary
Don't
school
dox
is.
us.
Don't worry.
I know. Yeah, it is.
I won't tell them that your real name is actually Nathan Fillion, and your secret is that you really wanted to play Nathan Drake in the upcoming Uncharted movie.
Honestly, and Nathan Fillion should have.
What's funny is that he apparently he went on Twitter and he tried to like gather support for it, and most people were like, yeah, Nathan would be.
He looks a lot like him.
And what's sad is that it never happened.
Yeah.
There's been I'm pretty sure from what I briefly read, there's been 7 directors of the movie, and not one of them has...
It's been in development hell for a long time.
It's been in development hell for 13 years.
Yeah. I believe it.
And yeah, it's gone through, I think, 6 or 7 directors, and none of them have ever chosen Nathan Fillion. In fact, the past 3 were
And didn't he want to as well?
Yeah.
This is so strange.
Oh yeah, that's why he went on Twitter, because he was like, "Hey, I'd like to be this character. Naughty Dog, will you let me?"
And I don't think Naughty Dog has as much of a say in the movie.
Did.
Really? Is Neil Druckmann on the project?
That name does sound familiar.
He's like the head honcho kind of Naughty Dog, like the creative backbone.
But yeah, I would assume Naughty Dog was the one calling the shots, because there was 7 or 8 directors, a whole bunch of screenwriters. They've literally, I'm pretty sure the original people making the movie are not even there.
Probably not. And the reason they went with Tom Holland in the end is because they eventually decided to make it. And I think they did a good choice with this. They decided to make it a prequel to Uncharted instead of trying to readapt the Uncharted movies, which is honestly not necessary. And this goes for the upcoming The Last of Us HBO show as well. I feel like Naughty Dog games are so cinematic, there's really no point in remaking them as movies or TV shows. So the Uncharted movie being a prequel, I'm excited for that. And I'm excited to see Tom Holland in that.
I'm pretty sure from what I've seen, a lot of people say it's based off of the 4th game, though.
Okay, which I haven't played yet.
I haven't played any Uncharted game, but...
You should. They're really easy to get through.
I was also going to say, though, that from what I've seen, most people really don't like Tom Holland playing him, and they especially don't like the guy playing this guy named Sully.
Okay, so just to give you a little explanation, Sully is this...
He's the mentor character.
He's like a surrogate father, actually.
Do you want to know who's going to be playing him?
Do I know this person?
Yes.
Okay, let's hear it.
Mark Wahlberg.
Oh no.
Yeah, that's
No,
yeah.
I'm not about that. No.
No, because most people who are most people are either oh no, not Tom Holland, he's too young and naive, and then there's the other half of people are
okay,
they're like, okay, I can understand that, but bruh, Mark Wahlberg just sucks as playing.
But if you've played Uncharted 3, there's a whole flashback arc where it shows younger Nathan Drake, and I think. Obviously, Tom Holland's not going to be that young, playing a Nathan Drake that's that young, because we're talking 14. But still, Nathan Drake used to be pretty naive, and I think Tom Holland could play a Nathan Drake around his 18, 19, which I don't know what age he's supposed to be playing him, but yeah, I'm excited to see it. I have high hopes for Tom Holland. Sucks to hear that they cast Sully as Mark Wahlberg. I'm not sure about that. But you know what? I don't like to rule anything out. Maybe it'll end up being good in the end.
I was gonna say, if you convince me hard enough, I'll play all 4 games, because it releases in 4 months.
They're really easy to get through.
And let me finish.
They're super linear.
It's only gonna be in theaters.
So it's not gonna be on any streaming?
No.
So it'd be another 3-4 months before we could watch it if it's not in theaters.
No, it's going to only be in theaters.
What's that mean?
I think it'll go from being in theaters to releasing on DVD, and
that's what I'm saying. It'd be 3 or 4 months before the Blu-ray release.
Yeah, but if you wanted to see it in theaters,
and I do.
Yeah, that's what I was saying, and I feel like seeing it alone would just be.
Yeah, I don't like seeing movies alone. That's spooky. Much like our topic today.
Yeah, sorry for detracting. I just
that's great.
I felt very dumb earlier when I was
Zach just found out this morning that the Uncharted movie was happening when I found out about it when I played the Uncharted games a year ago.
Well, no, because they didn't even.
But I mean, it's been a thing for a while, and I've been following it.
But there hasn't
like,
been a trailer released.
Yeah, the trailer released just like within the last couple of days.
No, there's. Oh no, I remember seeing that. Apparently, I think I saw on PlayStation, which I found. Now that I think about it, it's kind of weird that they would release a trailer. But apparently, during one of their videos, they showed a trailer for the movie. And from the way that it was written on Wikipedia, it was saying it like it was like. It was like kind of like a surprise. Like PlayStation just put it in randomly, and they're like, "Yep, there's Uncharted movie. Moving on." And you're just like, "Wait, what?
Yeah. But yeah, I've been following the movie for a while, but I didn't know about the Mark Wahlberg thing. But yeah, I was earlier. I wanted to ask. I know it's been a long time since you like moved out of town. So, and I know you did do Halloween during those years. So where did you go?
I went around here.
Oh, really? Like this neighborhood?
Yes, almost every year until I think around high school is when I stopped going to Halloween.
I sort of stopped in high school. So my whole thing with Halloween is that I technically stopped my junior year, I think. I don't remember what I like dressed up as junior year, but senior year I wasn't gonna go, but I was dating someone who was younger than me, and she had her best friend was a freshman, so so it mostly started with this freshman girl, but like it worked its way up to like they each wanted to go out for Halloween, and this freshman wanted to go trick or treating, so my girlfriend was like, "Okay, I'll go with you," and I was like, "Okay, then I can just hang out with you." But I didn't dress up or anything. But whenever you're walking around, houses are gonna give you candy anyway. They're gonna be like, "Oh, I don't care that you're not dressed up. Come get candy." And
I mean, you were technically dressed up as a Happy Weeb man.
I just had my coat on, and by the end of the night, my coat was like stuffed, like every pocket, and I had many pockets on this coat. Like but we had two chest pockets, the two front pockets, and then two inside pockets as well. So and these were all just shoved full of candy because every house was like, "Oh, it's okay, you can have some too." When I'm standing at the end of their drive-through, driveway, waiting for them to come back. I think another one of my favorite Halloween moments is
You didn't even mention that you went to a cemetery.
oh yeah. And then yeah, my girlfriend and I took this freshman girl to a cemetery to spook her out. And then as soon as we went in there, I got on my phone and I started playing like creepy piano, like Halloween music. And she got so upset with me. But yeah, that was probably the highlight of the night. But then another one of my Halloween highlights is I don't remember how old I was, but there was this guy who was giving out comic books for Halloween, and I thought that was really cool. He told me that like he used to be really into comic books, but now he's just trying to get rid of them all. I don't know why. Maybe his mother was like, "You need to grow up and you can't have any comic books." Who knows? But the funniest thing was that the next year I went through the same neighborhood and I went to this house again, and he was still giving out comic books. And I was like, "Wow, you must have a fuck ton of comic books if you're still giving them out a year later." And he was like, "Oh yeah, man, I just have so many." One of them was dated that year.
Mate was told
You got an addiction, my dude.
he was told to give them up, and then he proceeded
To buy more and then give them out again. What did you what have you dressed up as in the past?
a pirate a lot of times.
Really? Yeah, I know. You've told me you like pirate media a lot. I've been
I'm writing a pirate story.
sort of.
So it's steampunk pirates.
Okay. But let's see. I've been all over the place with my costumes. I know when I was a kid I did superheroes because
I
who
once dressed
didn't?
up as Jack Sparrow.
Nice. That must have been fun.
What's sad is that I used to have I wouldn't call it a prized possession because it was part of a Halloween costume, but
Mhm.
it came with his compass, and I always
Oh wow.
yeah, and I always like his compass. I thought that was one of the neatest things about Pirates of the Caribbean, the fact that he has this compass that technically tells him where he needs to go.
Sort of.
Which is kind of interesting
Sometimes it doesn't
considering
work.
it seems like it's kind of like a representation of a moral compass, which Jack
It's
Sparrow,
supposed to
which-
point towards what you want.
Yeah, but like Jack Sparrow is a man very driven by like
desire and
Yeah.
like need to like find things.
which is honestly kind of what I felt like at World's End was kind of driving, because he at this point he's like, I have nothing to strive for.
Well, also, actually, if you look at it, there is a connecting thing between all the Pirates of the Caribbean movies, is that Jack wants to live forever. But like and there are ways to live forever within this universe, but they all have massive downsides. And in each movie, Jack is trying to go after this thing that will allow him to live forever, but it always ends up kind of backfiring or having a cost that he's not willing to pay. Like, he temporarily had the like skeleton curse in the first movie, and he was like, "Oh, I could live forever like this," but oh no, kind of sucks. I don't want to be a skeleton. And so he helps seal that curse. He briefly considers becoming the captain of the Flying Dutchman, but for obvious reasons, he's like, "Ah, no, fuck that."
Yeah.
And then he actually, in the fourth movie, which a lot of people don't like, myself included, but he was going after the Fountain of Youth, only find out he'd have to kill someone else to get that immortality. And he's like, it's kind of fucked up. Maybe I won't do that. Which was a good thing for Jack Sparrow. I kind of imagined. Honestly, maybe it's more in his character that he would be willing to sacrifice someone else. But I don't know. It was nice that he kind of like stopped searching after it after he found that out.
I think certain people he'd be like, oh yeah, they can fucking die.
Yeah. But the whole thing is that like the exchange with the Fountain of Youth has to be willing.
I was gonna say I feel like the character who
would be someone he wouldn't want to die.
I feel like the character who would be willing to sacrifice someone would be Will.
Yeah, but like I think again it'd have to be someone he doesn't like.
No, not necessarily. I feel like if Elizabeth was dying, and the only way to revive her,
he'd probably just give his own life.
Yeah, no, he would. Yeah, you're right. Never mind.
Did you ever see the last Pirates of the Caribbean movie?
I haven't seen the last two.
I owned the fourth one. I don't have the fifth one, unfortunately. But yeah,
I would assume it's on Disney Plus.
Oh yeah, they're all on Disney Plus. Yeah, so easy access to watch any of them. The last two aren't that great though.
I mean, I'm pretty sure
they're not super bad.
World's End was kind of.
At World's End, just felt.
It's not bad.
It just felt way grittier than it needed to be. Like I kind of liked that. The Pirates of the Caribbean movies were serious and funny. I've only
seen At World's End once.
Oh, I've seen it so many times. But yeah, but like.
Do you want to know how I know the plot details from the movie still?
From Lego Pirates.
Yeah, that was. But I never actually completed it.
I don't understand how you can figure out the plot from Lego Pirates. Isn't there no dialogue in any of the Lego games?
No, but no, I think there is. There isn't. No,
yeah,
there isn't. It's just gibberish.
Right. So how do you even figure out the plot by just running through places?
There's cutscenes.
Sort of, but you can't. But
Lego games are.
I know they have a lot of cutscenes, but like they don't really tell you what's happening.
Yeah, I guess.
Although I don't know. I vaguely remember playing Lego Star Wars Episode 3, I think.
I was gonna say,
on GBA,
before I saw the Star Wars movies, how I actually knew the plot to all of them was playing the Complete Saga collection.
Okay. I still think you would only vaguely know the plot. Are you saying that when we did our marathon of the... It wasn't a marathon, but when we watched the Star Wars movies together, that you just knew everything that was going to happen?
Not everything, but a lot of the major plot details I already knew, and I knew.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Okay. I just find it hard to imagine how you would be able to
know
pick that much
every
up
battle.
from the Lego games.
I knew who would be in every battle.
Fair enough. Yeah.
Because that's one thing I actually really like. That's one thing. It's weird because I'll say I like the combat of Lego games, but admittedly, there's not a lot of content.
And speaking of Star Wars, after I got through my superhero phase of Halloween, which I think I did Superman and Spider-Man, I did like Star Wars stuff. I was Darth Vader, and I think I still have that Darth Vader mask as well. And I used to have the
Pretty sure it's in my closet.
I also had the Darth Vader chest plate. Like I kept both of those for a while, and then
Did you still have the Darth Vader lightsaber?
No, actually, I never had a Darth Vader lightsaber. So,
I did.
When I was a kid, I had
Actually, I think I dressed up as Darth Vader one year.
Huh?
Because that would explain why I would have the lightsaber.
Actually, so here's the thing. I had not seen Star Wars, whenever I decided I wanted to dress up as Darth Vader. I just knew the Darth Vader character and I thought he was really cool. And so I told my mom I wanted to dress up as him. And because of that, my mom was like, okay, so you need to do research on the character. And so we went to the movie store to get a Star Wars movie. And the first Star Wars movie I ever saw was The Empire Strikes Back.
Honestly, the perfect one to research
Honestly, yeah.
on Darth Vader.
Especially on Darth Vader. Yeah, that is the perfect movie.
Considering he's kind of not really there in A New Hope, he's...
Do not call it that. Do not call it that.
He is Anakin in the prequel movies. He is dead in the sequel movies.
He lives on in Kylo Ren. Not really.
Not
Not
really.
at all.
No. Kylo Ren wishes.
Nah, he denounces Darth Vader in The Last Jedi. But then I was just like a generic Jedi Knight. The year after that, so I had like a Jedi robe, and I wore that a lot until I grew out of it. And then
If we're still around here for Halloween next year, we're gonna be dressing up as Jedi Knights now.
We should, yeah, honestly. Actually, I have a Darth Maul lightsaber, so I should just dress up as Darth Maul. That'd be awesome. Do the face paint and everything.
No, he was like, you have to
Get prosthetic
You're
horns.
gonna have to get someone else for that face.
I have friends who used to
You have
like
connections.
I have connections. People
I
who
know-
used to
I
work
know
at like
people.
what's it called? Those like haunted houses. Like it's not. Is it called Fear Fest?
That sounds about right.
But yeah, I have friends who used to work those during the Halloween season, and they learned like prosthetic paint and all that. So yeah, I have people who could do that for me. But yeah, that'd be really cool.
Or you could ask Peter Muller.
Of course, yes. He painted cakes.
He painted cakes.
And then I went through my horror phase. I know I did like I had one of those like full body skeleton suits that was just like it's just like a black bodysuit with skeleton bones on it. You know, those really.
But did we
generic
just
ones.
did we just wear the same costumes almost every year?
Here's the thing though.
I point for point also dressed as Darth Vader, never having seen Star Wars movies, but I did not research any of them.
Well, that sucks. Because watching The Empire Strikes Back made me a Star Wars fan. Because after I watched that, then did I go back and watch the original Star Wars? I don't know. But I think I did. I think I went back and I watched the original trilogy all the way through. And then I watched the prequel movies, and then I watched Clone Wars. Sort of. Yeah, so I mean, like, even though I didn't grow up with Star Wars, I mean, I guess I did, but not in the right time frame. I still watched the, ideal experience of Star Wars.
So it's weird. I think I actually vaguely remember watching quite a bit of Clone Wars as a kid.
I watched the Clone Wars movie.
There's that one female character that I was actually very familiar with.
What, Ahsoka?
Yeah, but
Yeah.
I don't think she's in any of the actual movies. She's only
she's
only an integral character in the extended universe.
I watched the Star Wars The Clone Wars movie, which was like the pilot of it, and then I played one of the DS games, and I'm pretty sure.
I think I also played one of the DS games.
Do you remember what it was called? Because the one I played was Jedi Alliance.
I think I played Republic Heroes.
Okay, but I'm pretty sure that the Clone Wars
Jedi
TV
Alliance
show.
Jedi Alliance and Republic Heroes just sound like they're two different Pokemon Star Wars
Honestly.
games.
I tried to go back and play this game for nostalgia, and then it turns out it sucks, so that was unfortunate. But I'm pretty sure that the Star Wars The Clone Wars TV show got a season based off of that game. Which made me want to watch Star Wars The Clone Wars, but I didn't have, like, access to it at the time.
We still don't really have access to it, because I don't even...
No, it's on Disney Plus, yeah.
Disney Plus.
I want to watch it now that it's, like, fully accessible. Wait, did you ever do any Star Wars costumes besides Darth Vader?
No, I think that's it.
So you've done a skeleton, Darth Vader, and then what? Every other year was pirates?
Usually a generic pirate or Jack Sparrow. I think one year...
I still haven't mentioned my best costume yet, actually.
Was it yourself?
Yes, it was my senior year when I just walked around and I got free candy.
Apparently you were scary.
I'm terrifying. No, so after I did a few, like, generic horror stuff, like Scream Mask with a Cloak, the Grim Reaper, which is just, like, you know...
I'm pretty sure he's called... He's
called Ghostface.
He's called Ghostface. I was gonna say Scream Guy, but that just sounds like Doom Guy.
No, he's called Ghostface.
It's like, cause the idea is that the game is called Doom, so he's called Doom Guy.
I remember... Okay, so this is funny to me. So this one Halloween, I had like a full black cloak. I'm gonna need you to calm down.
Sorry, I just popped every bone of my body.
I need you to sit down like a normal person. You're destroying the couch. But anyway, so I was dressed up in like full black cloak with the ghost face mask on, and someone recognized me. Like I was just walking down the street to like my next house, and like some people from school came by, and they were like, "Hey, Austin!" And I took off my mask, and I was like, "How did you know it was me?" And he said that my shoes were like
I
a one of a
figured you were
kind.
using
I
this,
had
yeah.
these off-brand, like these Champion off-brand gray high tops. And I think he also told me that like my walk was also like easy to spot. I don't know.
Your walk.
I just had so
in
much
air
swagger.
quotes.
I swaggered so much. He was like, that must be Austin. But the probably my favorite costume I've ever had is I did a Slenderman costume, but it was like I did the whole thing myself. I bought the tie and the shirt and like everything separately, and then I just put like pantyhose over my face because of course. I mean, but what can you do?
Put a white-
Plastic bag over my face and suffocate.
No, I was.
That would be a great way to
To
spend
die.
Halloween. Die.
I mean, it is spooky.
What was your favorite costume?
Probably the Jack Sparrow one.
How old were you when you did that?
I don't know. That's the thing. I don't remember.
Yeah, for me
years.
it's also like hard for me to
10
remember.
to 12. That sounds about right. No,
Okay.
younger maybe.
There's so many
8
Halloweens.
to 10, something like that.
I must have done like what?
At least
10?
I was at least 6 because that's when I came.
Just
here.
how many Halloweens must I have had? Like at least 10, and I can only remember like 5 costumes off the top of my head. I think I probably repeated costumes.
I think I may have
Most
too.
likely repeated some. And that's why I can't remember a costume for every year. Another one of my favorite Halloween stories is actually that when I was a little kid, like first grade, kindergarten or first grade, we had this Halloween.
So this was back in your old town.
Yeah, this was back in Arizona. We had this Halloween day
so you're
at my school.
So I can't dox you, but you can dox yourself.
I don't live in Arizona anymore. And Arizona's big. I could even say I lived in Phoenix, and you can't find me.
Yeah, I mean they can't. They won't find you anyways.
But yeah, we had this like school event where we could all bring in our costumes, but we weren't allowed to wear our masks because, air quotes, it would scare the little kids. And I'm like, okay, one, we are the little kids. I'm in first grade, and this is a like kindergarten to 5th grade school. And like, come on, we're all wearing superhero costumes. I was Spider-Man. I can't wear my Spider-Man mask. He's friendly. What the fuck? I was so mad.
He's friendly and neighborhoodly.
Exactly. But I can't even wear my mask because I'm gonna scare myself. Are you excited for this Halloween? I haven't done like the handing out candy too much. Some Halloweens I've just skipped out on.
I haven't ever.
I was working last year, so obviously I couldn't do that.
Our house is kind of rinky dinky.
I know.
We lived in town, and we live in the middle of nowhere, near no one. The nearest house is about where Orshlands is from here. So like,
That's like half a mile.
yeah,
Yeah, that's pretty far.
yeah. If you wanted to come to our house from walking from that house, why?
Yeah, I always thought that you must have come into town to
Yeah.
do Halloween, but I was like, I just didn't know.
But after
where.
a few, but like I think actually I only ever did 2 because after that I'm like I really don't. Well, I was at that point I was like I feel like it's just a waste of time.
Did you ever have a favorite like Halloween house? Because some people go all out with like their events.
I never really pay attention to the houses.
That's sad. Not like the house, but like there'd be people outside like dressed up in costumes. I remember there was this one I went to where I think it was like the haunted hospital theme, where there'd be like people like getting like surgery on a table. And I also remember this one time.
What houses did you go to?
There were so
The
there's
reason I'm
this,
saying that is because I would go to this neighborhood.
Yeah, that's the thing. You say you go to this neighborhood. There's a street like three streets down. When I was like 12 to 14, that was the place. That was where everything happened. Like all the biggest candy, the most houses, the most extravagant like decorations and setups, that was the place.
That wasn't because that's the rich neighborhood, is it?
I think it is.
So it makes sense.
But the thing is, and so I remember I used to be a little shit to my mom, and I'd be like, I have to go to this neighborhood, but she didn't know where that street was, and neither did I. But I would keep screaming, being like, I have to go to this street, I have to go to Crumb Street, and
Oh, that street?
yeah, and but I know, cause this is I know what you're thinking, because I got to go there maybe once or twice, and yeah, it was booming. But then a couple years later, I went there again, and it was dead. It was fucking dead. Like nothing. Nothing was going on there. And I was like, what the hell? What happened? And then we went driving around again, and then we found a different rich neighborhood that was like on the other side of town. But yeah, I have no idea what happened because the street used to be like awesome. And also like on my morning bus route going to school, they would go through this street and I would see all the decorations every single day. And it was awesome. Yes. Meow. What do you need? What time is it? Oh, it's her food time. It's her food time. Okay, we will take a short break to feed the cat. What was your favorite horror movie growing up?
See, when you say,
I know you weren't really into horror, but
yeah, I was gonna say, when you say favorite, the thing there is
what
that
was the horror movie you watched?
The Grudge.
I knew you were gonna say that. And I still haven't seen it.
Yeah.
Wait, was it the original or the American remake?
I've seen both. Ju-on is all right. It's kind of like I haven't seen like J-dramas or whatever the hell Japanese people make that are live action.
I guess J dramas, but I mean that's what we call it. It's just Japanese television.
Yeah, I feel like it's kind of reminiscent of that because
Well, yeah,
it definitely doesn't feel very like American. Like I can when I watched that, I was like, oh yeah, America has its own style.
I don't know. I'd say Japan has its own style. I'd say America is a lot more normal. Acting in Japan is strange because it always seems
So
very
you say
like
normal, but you're American, so that
no,
to you,
no, but like the way that
Everything.
it's the way that like Japanese people act is like in movies, like Japanese actors, they always seem to be like so extra, like so like forceful, like they don't act realistically. Like if you were to just go to Japan and talk to someone on the street, they're not going to act at all like. And obviously, actors do have to put like a more of like an entertaining spin on things, but like Japanese actors, they're just like times 500 on like how they act and how they talk. And sometimes it can be, even for me, it can be hard to watch Japanese movies and Japanese television just because the acting just gets in the way of my enjoyment.
But yeah, there is one scene in Ju-on that used to keep me up at night, though.
Really?
Yeah, because there's one scene where I think one of the main characters is like sleeping, and then I'm not sure, is she called Ju-on?
I don't know. You're the expert.
I'm pretty sure Ju-on like goes underneath the blanket, and you see like as she's like under her cover, and she like lifts up the cover, and you see Ju-on there.
Oh yeah.
And yeah, I for like I'm pretty sure years I would be like whenever I would immediately shove the covers over me and then be like, all right, I'm closing my eyes and not opening them for the rest of the night.
Oh my god, I had a phase like that when I was a kid, but that's just because
I still
that's because I was a little bitch.
I was gonna say I still actually like what I would do is I would make sure there's no what's it called, like I'd put the blanket underneath me to the point where
Yeah, I've noticed you do that.
yeah, and that's because
Like there's no openings.
yeah, it's because of my paranoia.
I was really into horror movies as a kid. I mostly went through a phase because I discovered like Freddy Krueger, and I thought the whole idea behind him was really cool. And so I went back and I watched the Nightmare on Elm Street movies, and that kind of got me into horror as a whole thing. But when I was a kid, I really liked Goosebumps. I would collect the Goosebumps books, and I would watch as many Goosebumps episodes as I could find. They were surprisingly hard to find for some reason.
Yeah, I've actually the books and the show.
The books weren't hard to find. I just found them at like thrift shops everywhere. So I would just buy
the show though. The show is like
the show, and it's really weird because it's like it's super nostalgic for a lot of like '90s kids because it was a late I don't know when in the 90s it was, but it was on TV in the 90s. But then like finding it on VHS and DVD is so hard. But yeah, anytime I did have the chance, I would watch them. And I owned a VHS copy of The Haunted Mask. And there was a certain scene in that always used to terrify me as a kid. Like I would have to like when watching the scene, I would have to pull a blanket over me and like watch the scene with one eye out of the blanket. And it was the dumbest scene ever. Have you seen The Haunted Mask? Do you know the story of it? You haven't even read The Haunted Mask?
Well, I don't. I never.
It's like
I never really got into Goosebumps.
Okay, but like it is one of the most iconic.
Like
Goosebumps ones.
I will say that I think R.L. Stine is a good writer, but I haven't really seen much by him.
You need to talk into the mic.
Anyways,
so basically the story of the Haunted Mask, and it's one of the most iconic, like along with Slappy and Monster Blood.
I've heard of I haven't read Slappies, but I know of it.
There's so many Slappy books, and there's also a lot of Haunted Mask ones. But anyway, the story is that like there's this girl who really wants to be scary for Halloween, and she gets this haunted mask that attaches itself to her skin and like becomes her face because she like air quotes loved it. And so at the end of the story, all the masks from this shop that she got this mask from like come to life and start chasing her down a cemetery saying, "Love us, Carly Beth, love us." And that used to terrify me, and I don't know why.
Yeah, that doesn't sound scary.
No, if I watch it now, I'd probably laugh at it. It was kind of dumb.
There is one part of the horror genre that I always see labeled as horror, and especially the more modern ones. Horror to me is terrifying. Slasher films.
They're still horror movies, but I feel like just slasher films.
They're more gory than anything.
But like gore isn't a genre.
Like
the whole genre is horror, and then you have subsets of like supernatural movies and slasher movies, stuff like that. I'm more into supernatural movies.
Me too. I think slasher movies.
Some slasher movies are good, but they need to have a good premise. Like I think the reason I liked Nightmare on Elm Street.
The only two series that I wouldn't say got into, but I ever thought were pretty decent were
Did you ever watch Friday the 13th?
Yeah, I was gonna say.
I've never seen Friday the 13th.
Friday the 13th. I saw a little bit of part 2. I actually only ever saw the first one, but I did see a little bit of the sequel. And that was the reason why I didn't watch it.
Have you heard about the fuckery with the Halloween movies? I've never seen one, but I watched a video that talked about the timeline of them, and like, what's his name? Michael Myers?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. He dies at like the end of Halloween, every Halloween movie, so they keep coming up with more ridiculous ways to bring him back to life.
Bro, you do. You do realize that that's also how Friday the 13th works.
I know, but
Jason in the first movie drowns at the end.
Yeah, but like, wasn't he a ghost already?
No.
Oh.
Yeah. I think the explanation there was that he didn't.
Yeah, so in Halloween
I'm pretty sure there's a solid like 30 seconds where you don't see him come up for air, so you're like, oh, he's dead, and then the next movie they're like.
Yeah, and it's the same thing with Halloween, except I've heard that the way they like explain Michael Myers coming back to life is ridiculous and gets more ridiculous with each movie, to the point that they just had to reboot the entire series because they couldn't make it any more insane.
See, the funny thing about that is that Freddy Krueger seems to be in the same boat, I feel like. But
Not really, because he's just a ghost.
But I was gonna say he also only ever really appears in people's dreams, so you can't kill him.
Well, he's been killed several times in the movies, but like because he is literally just a ghost, you can't. I think you can like kill him, like for yourself. Like he can't come after you if you've killed him, but Freddy will just find new people to terrorize.
I'm wrong.
What's up?
The villain of the first Friday the 13th movie is actually Jason's mom. She's the one killing everyone, I believe.
Really?
Yeah. At the end is because throughout the movie it's implied that she's doing this because she's like a very distraught woman. Because I'm pretty sure.
Yeah. Didn't Jason die?
Yeah, Jason drowned as a kid, and then at the end of the movie, I think it was somehow revealed that Jason survived that, and I'm fairly certain he's the killer in the sequel because I believe I saw him kill protagonist girl from the first movie in the sequel, and that's why I was like I noped out of that because I'm like no.
I noped out of the Nightmare on Elm Street movies because I really liked the first one. I actually liked the remake, and I think you would too. A lot of people seem to think it was really bad, but I liked it. The second one was okay. Have I told you about there's this scene in the second Friday the 13th movie? Not Friday the 13th. I constantly say Friday the 13th instead of Nightmare on Elm Street. Did I say that in the first place? Did I say that first?
I don't know, but I guess
Anyway,
if we rehear it, we'll find out.
Backtrack. I'm talking about Nightmare on Elm Street. I really like the first one and the remake. The second one was okay, except there's this scene where there's like this gym teacher who goes into the showers, and then he gets killed by Freddy slapping his ass with a wet towel until he dies.
Yeah. That reminds me of this other horror movie we saw.
But that wasn't the worst one. Because the worst one was the third one, which made me just nope out of the series.
That's the Dream Warriors.
That's the Dream Warriors one, where he's going after a bunch of kids in a mental asylum, and then they defeat him by becoming the dream versions of themselves. And there's a scene where Freddy is about to kill this little kid, and he's like, but in my dreams, I am the Wizard Master, and he turns into a sorcerer and beats Freddy.
Plot convenience, go.
I'm just, it was so bad, and then I'm just like, I can't continue with the series. I know there's 87 more movies, but I can't continue with this.
This sounds like I don't think most horror things are bad. There's actually some really, really good shit out there. But I always feel like it's weird because I actually really want to get into Cthulhu lore.
Oh yeah, me too.
And the reason why I think it's so interesting is because I think that is what true horror should be.
Honestly, yeah.
The idea that there is something out there that is, it's not even that it's technical, because we don't even know if Cthulhu is killable. The idea here is that it's something that is so terrifying that you can't even comprehend how afraid you are if you do come across this.
Isn't there a whole thing in like Cthulhu lore where people like go insane and kill themselves just studying Cthulhu and like other gods and monsters from that lore? Yeah, that's
I'm pretty sure that's the lore of H.P. Lovecraft himself.
What did he kill himself?
I don't know the exact thing, but I know that he's a very messed up dude in general, considering.
Well, to write that, yeah.
Well, because fun fact, did you know that H.P. Lovecraft named his cat the N-word?
Why?
I remember I don't remember the reason, but I remember.
Why? Nobody needed that.
Nobody needed that, but Google answers.
Okay. What? This is just a nugget of information I have in my head that I will never not have now.
Now you know.
Oh man.
Anyways, but yeah, that's why there's a game out there called Call of Cthulhu.
Oh yeah. It goes on sale on PlayStation all the time, and
I've been thinking about getting it, but
me too.
I think it'd be interesting to play. But yeah, I feel like games like that, and then also I think the best horror parts of the horror genre are ones that basically prey on your primal fears and the idea that something is not necessarily unkillable, but that you're just too scared shitless to do anything.
Well, that's a reason why games like Outlast and more recently Metroid Dread have had a really good take on the horror genre, because there's other very notable horror games like Resident Evil, The Evil Within, what's it called? Fuck. It'll come back to me.
The Witcher.
That's not a horror game.
I was joking.
Oh wait, actually add Alien Covenant onto this as well. These are all games where you just cannot fight the main villain. Like, you are completely helpless against it. More or less completely helpless, and you just have to survive. And it really just creates this predatory feeling. And I know you played Outlast, but you didn't even get to the point where you have to, like, run from psychos who are coming after you, and you just cannot beat them. You just have to hide from them and hope they don't find you. It's, like, games like these create a fantastic feeling of just true terror and helplessness. And I feel like that's what you were getting at. That's what horror should be.
But yeah, what's the saying? I feel like the best horrors are the ones who are masters of tension.
Oh yeah.
That's why I stopped playing Outlast, because the tension was eating me up, because I was like, I am fucking scared.
Yeah. I dropped Outlast because
I think you were there when I kept walking out of the room because I was like, nope, nope, nope.
yeah.
I was like,
I dropped Outlast because I got to this one sequence that was really difficult for me, and like I did it over so many times that the actual scary part of it, like avoiding the psycho, no longer scared me, and it became monotonous. And I was like, if I'm not scared by the game anymore, there's no reason to play it. But I do want to go back to Outlast at some point because it really did have a good atmosphere.
also also because you
Also
have
because I own all the games and I need to justify that purchase.
sunk cost fallacy.
You ready for this Halloween? Well, that sounds like you're gonna have a fantastic time.
I'm a little apprehensive of the future.
What's that
in
mean?
general.
Maybe not get into that. That sounds like
Yeah, 'cause
sounds like a deep personal thing we don't need to touch right
yeah,
now. But just like we're gonna dress up as Naruto characters. We're gonna play like Naruto music outside our house, not too loud to wake the neighbors, of course.
yes, my favorite Naruto song, Spooky Scary Skeletons.
I mixed in some Halloween songs into the playlist. It's all good. We're gonna have remixes of This Is Halloween and Spooky Scary Skeletons, along with the Naruto soundtrack. It's gonna be fantastic. I'm so hyped for it.
I can't wait for Sorrow to make everyone cry on the night in which
Yes,
they should be.
the kids who've watched Naruto come up to get their candy, and we're just playing like sadness and sorrow, and they break down in tears. Why am I happy about this?
If you truly wanted to cosplay Naruto, you'd buy a.
I didn't want to cosplay Naruto. I chose Kakashi for a reason.
I was gonna say you would have had to buy a swing and a tree.
Oh, perfect. That's what I do. Just Naruto sadly sitting on the swing, like just sorrowfully handing out candy to kids. There we go. Anyway, thanks everyone for tuning in to the Sandals podcast. I know it's a little strange to do a seasonal one as the second episode, but we really wanted to do a Halloween one. We'll have some regular talking points, just normal shit on the next one. So, see you all
Whatever
then.
that is.
Whenever that is, sometime
Might-
next month.
Maybe tomorrow, maybe
Honestly,
3
yeah.
weeks.
We plan to do at least once a month. So considering this one's going up at the actual end of the month, the next one could be the next day or again like the end of November. Who knows? Maybe we'll do a Thanksgiving podcast. Probably not. This sounds fucking boring.
Yeah, what's a good.
What was your favorite turkey, Zach? What was the favorite turkey you ever had?
Actually, his name was Jeff, and he was a good man.
Oh man, that sucks. But yeah, go and support the channel if you're into what we're playing. We're doing a lot of Call of Duty Cold War. We're gonna get back to Kingdom Hearts soon, and some random stuff gets thrown on there every now and then. But until then, I've been Austin,
I've been Zach.
and thanks for listening. See ya.
Adios.